I'm Ricky Johnson, Information Administrator for the Board. My job is to communicate with licensees, stakeholders, and the public regarding Ohio's accountancy laws and board rules. Today I'll be talking about Ohio Administrative Code 4701-15-09. This is what is considered our return to practice rule and what is required to return to practice. Returning to practice is when a licensee is moving from an expired or suspended license to a practicing permit, or when a licensee holds a valid or active non-practicing registration and wants to change over to a practicing permit. Return to practice for those who have expired licenses begins February 1st of the year after they were expected to renew. For example, if someone was due to renew by December 31st, 2023, they are considered returning to practice on February 1st, 2024 or later. The requirements for return to practice are at least 120 continuing professional education or CPE credits in the 36 months prior to requesting a permit to be reestablished. Within the total of 120 credits, you will need to complete the following: 3 credits of an Ohio-based course in Professional Standards and Responsibilities, or PSR, from a provider approved by the board. A list of approved courses will be linked in the description of this video. A minimum of 24 credits in the fields of accounting and/or auditing, and a minimum of 24 credits in the field of taxation. Side note, if you need to renew an expired or suspended non-practicing registration, you do not need to complete any CPE. So, you have your CPE completed. Now what? You will need to submit your CPE certificates to the board for review by uploading the certificates to your e-license dashboard. Once on your dashboard, please click on Options and select Submit Additional Documentation. All certificates should be scanned and saved as a PDF file before you upload them to the dashboard. It is recommended that you combine certificates into a few PDFs, the size limit being less than 10 megabytes, instead of uploading each certificate individually. One of the board staff members will reach out to you to discuss your next steps after they have reviewed your CPE. You can also have your CPE uploaded to the CPE audit service. You will just need to reach out to the board and let us know that that's where your CPE is located. Some things to keep in mind when you're going through the return to practice process. This 36-month window is a rolling 36 months. This means that you do not need to wait for your next renewal to move back to a practicing permit. However, this also means that if you are renewing the year after your license expired, you need to pay attention to the CPE documents you are submitting. Many CPAs think that because they are only a couple months late, that they can submit the same CPE documents that would be expected from somebody who renewed within the renewal window. This is not the case. For example, if you request to return to practice in May, you can only go back through May 3 years prior. Returning to practice does not change your CPE reporting or renewal cycles. Once you are back to a permit, your expiration date will be based on your current cycle. If you are renewing from expired or suspended status, it is recommended that you submit your CPE and have it approved prior to renewing your license. If you renew first and you end up short, you have a limited time frame of meeting compliance. If you are requesting a permit from a valid registration, you must submit your CPE first. The e-license system will not allow you to renew with an active license status and will say it is not eligible for renewal. Our staff will switch you over once your CPE is approved and your permit fees are paid. Speaking of fees, I'm sure you're wondering what it costs to return to practice. Well, that depends. If you are returning to practice from a valid registration, you will only need to pay a permit fee based on the remaining years left in your current cycle. If you are in your first year, meaning you still have 3 years left, even partial, will be $180. 2 years will be $120, and 1 year will be $60. For individuals who have expired or suspended licenses, you will need to pay all late and back fees along with your current permit fees. Late fees for expired licenses accrue at a rate of $50 per month to a maximum of $300 for registrations and permits, and $100 per month to a maximum of $1,200 for permits employed in public accounting. Licenses that have gone into suspended status or expired for more than 1 year will have to pay back fees and reissuance fees along with the aforementioned late fees. Back fees are the total license fees due from the date of expiration. Reissuance fees are $50 for the issuance or renewal of an Ohio license for each triennial period or part of a period the certificate holder did not have an Ohio permit or an Ohio registration. Some frequently asked questions. I've completed my return to practice and now have a practicing permit. What are my CPE requirements for my next cycle? Your CPE requirement will still be 120 credits for the current cycle. However, how much you will need to do will depend on when you've completed your credits for the return to practice. You will be required to meet the 20 credit minimum for applicable years. You will not be penalized if you are short due to return to practice, but you will be if you fail to meet this requirement in subsequent cycles. Board staff will go over your requirements with you after your CPE has been approved. I do not perform taxation and/or accounting or auditing services. Do I have to do the 24 minimum in each category? Yes, these requirements are part of board rule and are not optional as per the standard CPE requirements. However, some exceptions can be made if requested in writing to the executive director. Please feel free to reach out to the board with any questions regarding return to practice. You can call us, email us, or visit our website. A list of pertinent laws and rules around licensing are listed here. Thank you for watching, and post in the comments below any other board topics you'd like us to cover.